Hi everyone, welcome back to DIYs with Sonja. Today I'm so excited to share 7 stunning high-end Christmas dupes inspired by some of your favorite stores, but on the budget. These DIYs are perfect for bringing the luxe holiday vibe into your home without breaking the bank. From elegant ornaments to beautiful centerpieces, I've got something for everyone. So grab your craft supplies, cozy up with a cup of hot cocoa, and let's get started. For my first DIY, I got a ton of bottle brush trees. Some I bought, some I had on hand, and also this board that I had on hand because we are going to be recreating this lit bottle brush tree centerpiece from Pottery Barn. It goes for about $183 as you saw. Now, some of these bluish green bottle brush trees, I don't love the colors, so we're going to spray paint them with some metallic gold. I did pick up some beige bottle brush trees from Dollar Tree, and I think this gold will complement that color really nice. While the bottle brush trees were drying, I hot glued some deer moss onto the board off camera, and then I took the board out and spray painted with some dark walnut. Now starts the fun part is hot gluing these trees to the board. So these are the beige trees that I picked up at like a taupe color at Dollar Tree. I absolutely love them. I thought that they looked quite high end. McGee and Co even has ones that are a little bit sitting on like a pedestal. But they're pretty much look this exactly the same, and I picked up 3 of those. Then I had the rest of them on hand, and I just tried to add variety. The At Pottery Barn you can get all just gold, or you can get ones that have a variety of different colored bottle brush trees as well. So that was my inspiration for mine. Since these were the same, I had 3 of these that were the same color and the same size. I spaced them out evenly, and then I'm going to fill in with all the rest of them. Once they were all on, I added some small battery operated fairy lights to them. I love how these all came together. It gives you that earthy, rustic vibe that my decor is all about this year. And if you want to see how I'm going to style with these, make sure you are subscribed to my home channel where I share all of my decorating videos. Before we jump into our next DIY, I am so excited to tell you that today's video is part of a special collaboration with my best friend Sandra from DIYs at the Schwowin Nest. Sandra isn't just my best friend on YouTube, we've actually been friends in real life for years. Fun fact, we used to live on the same street. She's incredibly talented, and her channel is full of amazing seasonal DIYs and creative projects you'll love. After you watch this video, make sure to head on over to Sandra's channel and check out what she's created for our collab. You don't want to miss it. For my next project, I picked up this wooden tree. I think it's beautiful as it is, a little bit too much sparkle for my liking, but it was coming off just by rubbing it. So if you don't like the little sparkles, little glitter, you could just take it off. I don't think it was even as much of a glitter as it looked like crystal sugar was on it, but nevertheless, it was still sparkling, so I wanted to, or glittering, I wanted to take that off a little bit. But like I said, the tree looked really good as was, but I had something in my mind that I wanted to do with it. So if I want to, I'm gonna go pick up another one like this and leave it as is. So I got some cinnamon brown and painted the whole tree except the bottom, actually even the bottom part, this with this cinnamon brown because I wanted to recreate this gingerbread tree. I absolutely love the way this looks. Now, I could have picked up a very similar looking tree at Dollarama as well that kind of went to the ground and looked more like a ceramic decor piece versus more of the rustic look that this tree has. But I did love the way this tree looked. So I thought I can combine best of both worlds and do this one in that gingerbread tree look. It did only need one coat of paint to cover it all. And then once the paint fully dried, I went in with some puff paint and created a design. I found that this was so much fun to create, and I absolutely enjoyed making this project so much so that I am thinking about going and getting some more things to add the puff paint to. And here it is. I just love the way it turned out. For my next project, I am remaking one of my projects from last year. I had made several of these bells and I found I wasn't quite using them, so I decided to take one of them and redo the look. There, I have found several different websites that had these bells. The one was this one, which was about $30, and then I also saw them on Pottery Barns, although they were sold out. And So I don't quite know how much they were. Mine was one of those bells that you can pick up at Dollar Rama or Dollar Tree. Sometimes they vary in the shape that they come in, but they're all pretty much the same size. So to create this look, you're going to need some thin rope. You can use thicker rope as well if that's what you want. I opted for thinner rope because that's what it looked like on the picture. And then I just wrapped it around and I went in a couple rows of it. You want to try and space them out evenly. I tried my best without actually measuring. You could also measure so that they're spaced out evenly. And then I mixed up some white acrylic paint with some cornstarch just to make it thicker. If you have some chalk paint, you could use that. I just wanted it to give it a good coverage and also give it a little bit of texture. And then I painted the whole piece with this paint, and it needed 2 coats. This was such an easy DIY, and I think it turned out great, and it's gonna look great in a little Christmas vignette, as part of a little Christmas vignette, or styled on a shelf. These are so popular this year, is just some vintage prints inside a frame. I did print out this Christmas picture, Santa picture that I made, but it did not fit inside the frame. So I was debating what to do, and then Sandra had mentioned she had some fabric she wasn't using, and I thought this would be a perfect thing to use here. So I had picked up this frame from Value Village. It was $7.99. I actually love the frame, and I didn't mind the print that was in there. So I am carefully going to remove it so I can reuse the frame, and safely store the print so that way it doesn't get damaged, because I might be adding it back in and using it as part of my decor outside of Christmas. And for this, I was trying to kind of get the look, the inspiration for this project. It doesn't necessarily look the same, but an inspiration for this project was the same as the inspiration last DIY video I made with prints in it. I'm going to add it here just so you can see what I'm talking about. This obviously isn't an expensive piece at $20. It's very hard to find, and it's even harder if you don't have Target anywhere near you. So I decided to recreate another print because I did needed one more for my master bedroom. And so I took that fabric that Sandra had offered, and I added to it. I put the print first just to use it as a guide. I traced it and then cut it out, and then I added it to the frame. I did make sure that it fit before I reassembled it, and I also gave a little dollop of glue just in a couple corners just to keep the fabric in place so it doesn't move while I'm reassembling the frame. You could also take this frame and paint it or add some rub and buff if that's what you wanted, but I thought this frame looked really pretty without any upcycling needed. So I just kept it as is. For this next project, you're going to need some sort of a Bristol board. I am using one that I had on hand, and I'm going to cut out some strips out of it, 2 strips, because we are going to be making this brass bow tree topper from McGee and Co. It retails for $22 US. I wanted to make this for such a long time, and I was trying to figure out the best way to do it. And then I did see Evelyn Hernandez do a similar look, so I thought I'd try it out. Try it out myself. So I am going to you could measure it so it's exactly the same size as the McGee and Co inspo. However, I just eyeballed it. I did not need it to be the same size as that one. I really liked the look of it, and that is what I was trying to recreate. So I just took a piece and then I twisted it so that way the two ends meet, and then I into a bow, and then I did that with another piece. And so I took the one strip and I made sure that they are cut the same size. So one will be a little bit longer, and that one will be your bottom, and then the shorter one will be your bow. And then you assemble the bows individually, and then you put them together, and then you put the hanging pieces on it. Um, I this was so easy to make. You could make even ornaments like this, make them a little bit smaller. You can make them even bigger. It's all up to you. That's the beauty of making things yourself. You can customize them and make them fit your style or your needs. And you can also paint them or put rub and buff or whatever you want on them. They don't have to be the gold. You can paint them any color you want them to be. So now it's time to assemble it. So I'm going to put these two pieces together, and then I'm going to add the hanging pieces. I also cut a little diamond shape to fit right over top of where they were overlapping, because on the original piece, it did have, or the one from McGee and Co, it did have a little, it looked like a little piece on top. So that is what I am adding here. And then I took it outside and I spray painted with my bronze color as well as this is antique bronze. And then I also spray painted it with some metallic gold. Then while it was still wet, I brought it inside and used a craft sponge just to blend the paint all together. And once it was dry, I added a little bit of hot glue and craft wire to the back of it so that way I can attach it to the top of my Christmas tree. You could also add a clothespin to it if you would like. I just love how easy this was to make and how beautiful it looks on top of my tree. I have been obsessed with juniper berries this year, but they are impossible to find in my where I live. You can get them on Amazon.com by from a floor, but they do not ship to my um, to Ontario. Pottery Barn also has some as well, which are a little too expensive for me. So I decided to make my own. So I went to the on search for some stems that I can use to recreate this. So I picked up these two stems, two different stems. One is looks a little bit frosted because originally I was thinking of using those berries. And then the other one was just a variety of cedar branches with some red berries and some pine cones. So I needed to disassemble everything and create my own. I did decide to make three of these, and I ended up using all the branches, even the frosted ones, but I did not use any pine cones or berries. So here is what they look like. I wish the branches were a touch more droopier, but we can shape them and mold them if that's what we want. I also left the long stems on them because I'm just going to bend them if I need to add them to a shorter vase. I also remember I had some loose cedar branches from a garland and I added those as well. That gave me a bit of more of a droopiness that I was looking for. Since I decided that white berries were too long, was going to make my own using some air dry clay that I had left over from the daycare when we were making Mother's Day presents. So I just wanted to warm up the clay in my hands, and then I just made ones that were not a lot smaller than the white berries, but definitely smaller. And I just rolled them all into little balls. I think I made altogether about 30 of them. However, I think I did not use three of them, so I used 27 altogether. Then I took all of the blue paints that I had, trying to figure out a color that would work the best for these berries. I did end up mixing a couple different colors just to achieve the look that I was going for. I did not wait for these to fully dry before I went ahead and did that. I was going to use this stick to put the berries on for painting, but it was too big, so I just ended up rolling them in the paint. And I forgot to mention that I also got some sugar, just normal sugar. And once I was done rolling them in the paint, I dipped them into sugar. So it gave them a little bit of that frosted look. And then I repeated this process for all of them. A little time consuming, but so worth it. And then I went ahead and I had glued them onto random spots on to my branches. To I did look at the picture just to kind of get an idea how the juniper berries were on those fall branches, and I was trying to recreate that look. So here they all are on the branches, and I did allow them to dry fully before I proceeded to the next step. I wasn't planning on doing a next step, but the more I was looking at them, I felt like the blue needed to be tamed down a little bit. So once they were fully dry, I went in with some white paint and just added and a small brush and just added a little bit of white paint to to them just to tone down the blue a little bit. I think these turned out so pretty, and for under I think it came up to about $11. I can't complain. Next project is another ornament, and this time I picked up these ornaments at a Dollar Tree, and I needed some green ornaments, so we're gonna be making some more suede ornaments, flocked ornaments, without flocking. And I am going to make them green because the tree that I added in my living room, I wanted to make it green. So I painted them all green. I gave them um, two coats of color, and between the coats of color paint, I am going to just add some of the iced cappuccino paint to my tops just to make them look a little bit more vintage. And I am using some wet paper towel to do that. I find if I'm using a brush, it just slides off. So I let the first coat of paint dry before I applied the second coat of paint, but the second coat of paint I did not allow to dry. I added some baking soda to them. I feel like these ornaments, there are so many different but yet similar techniques to creating them, and each and every one of them gives you a slightly different look. So as these might be a little bit repetitive, but um, they're all, like I said, all a little different, and they do give you a unique look. So I love mixing and matching these techniques on my ornaments so that way I can have a variety of them. And most of my ornaments a lot of on a couple of my trees are all homemade ornaments, and they all look a little different. So once it had completely dried, I brushed it all off. At this point, you could Like I said, many different techniques. You can add rub and buff. You can add a sponge on, dab on a little bit of gold paint, but I am going to keep mine just like this. You can also spray some sealant on them, so that way the baking soda stays on permanently, so it doesn't over the years rub off completely. But I just love the way these turned out. I think they are a perfect addition to my new tree in the living room. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. I hope you love these high-end Christmas DIY dupes and feel inspired to create your own festive decor. Don't forget to check out Sandra's video at DIYs at the Schwowin Nest. Her projects are absolutely amazing. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of my upcoming holiday videos. And as always, leave me a comment below and let me know which DIY was your favorite. Until next time, happy crafting and happy holidays.